So, the Russians.
You're listening to CreepGeeks Podcast. So it begins again. Welcome to CreepGeeks Podcast. This is Season 10, Episode 364.
Diarrhea Superbug, deadly fungus storms, Dollar Generals are haunted, Conjuring house, and remote-controlled cockroach swarm.
Yeah. So here we are. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Greg.
I'm Omi.
And it begins again. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can definitely let us know. We'll get to them when we can. We actually have a toll-free number for that sort of thing if you want to call us.
Yep, that phone number is going to be 575-208-4025.
Yes. So this particular podcast, we broadcast paranormal and weird news and share our strange experiences from our underground bunker in the mountains of western North Carolina.
Yes.
So there's that. Also, this particular episode is brought to you by BARLEY'S, and BARLEY'S is dedicated to providing top quality homemade dog treats for every dog and cat to enjoy. All the treats are made with fresh, healthy ingredients, no harmful chemicals, which ensures your pet receives the best possible nutrition, and they deliver.
Yes.
So if you go to barleysbytes.com, you can order and they will send it to you. There's also a code you can use to get a little discount. So you just have to enter CreepGeeks at checkout.
Yeah.
We use it. Our dog Jack loves the beef liver treats, and that's what we get. And every time we order, we've been super happy. So you should definitely give it a try. Check it out. And actually, their treats are better than the food we eat, which we're going to delve into a little bit because we do talk about things in the podcast. And when things sort of reappear or we circle back to them, just to update as a way to say, yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah.
Here it is again. And this particular podcast episode is full of that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of stuff to talk about, and that's what we're going to do. Yeah. Do you have any questions before we begin?
No.
Pencils down. It goes like this. All right. So in one of the previous episodes of the podcast, going back a couple years, because we've got over 364 episodes of pure goodness.
Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something clever to say. I'm just not having it today. It's rainy and stormy where we are in the mountains of western North Carolina, maybe where you are. We're just coming off a heat wave.
Yeah.
Get everything nice and moist so we can roll back into a heat wave. That sort of thing happens, right? It seems like it happens almost every single year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So in one of our previous episodes, we've been kind of talking about how the Europeans are upset with the heat wave and saying that we just don't understand heat. Right, we're some sort of colonists or settlers living on the other side of the world. We don't know their struggle.
Okay.
And I've noticed a couple different things where, it seems like primarily with the English over there, they're treating having AC like you're destroying the planet. And it's just become a thing, right? And all these thousands of people die every year from the heat wave, but it seems like Europe doesn't want to do anything about it. Like you have a solution. You can buy an air conditioner. You can plug it in. And they're using all the excuses like, it's just going to take more power. It's going to do. And it's like, if you get an energy efficient air conditioner, they use just as much energy as a refrigerator in some cases. They don't have to run all the time.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of a silly thing to me that it seems like, what's going on with that? Like,
But
why?
I don't understand how our air conditioning can suddenly warp somebody's lifetime of living in X conditions.
Yeah. It's like you have a solution. It's right there. I don't get. And there's a couple different things that I think most Europeans don't understand. They don't understand why we have cars. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of Europeans don't necessarily have cars, or if they do have cars, they don't use them all the time like we do because they have railway system. They have trains and things like that. Their roads mostly are narrow. They don't have like an interconnected state highway system like we call the interstate.
Yeah.
America and the way our country is set up, we're primarily set up to drive. We put the railway across first, and then after that, we started building roads when we had the old automobile and all that jazz. So our roads are wide, they're large, they're meant for cars. Our cars are meant to ride on the highway forever. You know, it's not uncommon for us to jump in a car and, if we drive 24 hours, we can be in San Diego from North Carolina. You know what I mean? They don't do that sort of thing. So they don't get why we don't have cars. They don't think for some reason that we can insulate our homes. So we don't understand heat and we don't understand cold. And it's like every European environment we have here in the U.S. So it's not like it's a thing. They don't get how big we actually are.
And I find that very funny because technically their continent is connected to the Asian continent.
Yeah.
And a lot of Asian countries are developed to be similar to ours as far as highways. Like I see pictures of like some highway in Southeast Asia that's like 17 lanes wide. You know?
But those are the exception.
But many of those like Southeast Asian and a lot of Asian countries are trying to develop to be more like our transportation system.
Well, they're trying to be more Western. But
yeah. So it's just a strange that this pocket in between North America and Asia is saying, they're destroying civilization. But then if you just go a little right to them, suddenly those people are trying to make a certain level of progress similar to American transportation.
And the air conditioning argument's silly. Get an AC.
And they also have a very large continent. Asia's huge.
Well, yeah, I've seen, of course. It just seems ridiculous, especially with some of the English stuff I've been seeing where crime is bad enough where you can't even open your windows all the way.
Yeah.
It's like, well, if you could open your window up all the way, you could probably let more air in. I understand your walls are thick to keep the heat in and stuff. We have insulation too. There's different ways to heat your home. There's also ways to cool your home. You can plug in an AC. Well, the power requirements will kill the planet. Well, get a split window AC. There's modern air conditionings out there that use a whole lot less power. In other words, it's a moot argument. You're going to die in your own sweat. Yeah. Just buy an air conditioner for $150 off of Amazon or pounds or whatever and just be done with it.
Oh, I saw a great one on...
It's two things they don't get. I mean, they don't understand taste.
Yeah.
As in everything is bland, and they don't get the joys of AC. That's what separates us from the animals. Two things. Ice cream.
Yeah.
And air conditioning.
I saw a really good one on Threads, like literally 2 days ago. And it was like some guy, European person, who shared an open air market in Spain and one in France. And he was like, this is why the Americans have diarrhea, because they never go to farm markets. And he was getting just nailed to the cross on Threads. People were showing him like the California farmers market, the Seattle farm market, the WNC farmers market here in Western North Carolina. Because he was like showing like these very cropped, like, okay, maybe it's like 10 stalls.
Yeah.
And this lady's like taking this like long angle view of like this one in California that's like blocks long.
Yeah.
She's like, no, baby, we have farmers markets too.
Yeah. And we also have grocery stores the size of football fields that we have everything you want. You want 27 flavors of apple, we have it.
And she was like, we bought our fresh grocery. She said, no, baby, we have farmers markets too. It's just once I'm done shopping at the farmers market, I go through the Taco Bell drive-through because I'm an American.
Yeah. So I come across this article I thought was pretty interesting. It's actually pretty funny. It says woke Paris, right, blames Americans and our air conditioning for basically European heat wave that's killed 1,300 people so far.
Yeah.
So this Paris politician's been blaming Americans and the U.S. air conditioning for the record-breaking heat wave, right, which caused over 1,300 excessive deaths.
Yeah.
And this is, of course, after the U.S. tourist mocked France over the lack of air conditioning across the country amid 104-degree temperatures, right? Mm-hmm. So this lady, Audrey Pulvar, she was the deputy mayor of Paris for international relations, claimed the situation was partly America's fault. So I've been to France, and they could use a couple things. They could use air conditioning and showers for a lot of things. It's like it's a kind of a thing. So what she said was, dear American journalist and social media influencer, for days, some of you have been criticizing and making fun of Paris because the city does not have AC in every room. Mm-hmm. Okay. And she's like, oh my God, this is so rich. And then she says, as the second largest emitter of greenhouse gas emissions in the world, you bear a significant amount of responsibility for global warming and the consequences we in France are experiencing. Your cities, which are 90% air conditioning, are not unrelated to this.
Okay.
So please, enough with the lecture and just start doing your part.
Let's see. How big is France compared to the United States?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're big, and it doesn't matter if they're considered a first world country, because when the Montreal Protocols hit, guess what? They become a third world country. We don't even have to adhere to, carbon emissions and the carbon greenhouse tax or any of that sort of thing, because we're third world. And, this has been going on since the 90s.
I know.
With this whole protocol thing. And a lot of people get mad when they say, well, we should be a part of that. And it's like, no. Because what happens is, in order to offset your tax and everything, you pay these huge fines, right? Mm-hmm. To get your carbon offset tax and your carbon dollars, right? Your petrodollars, if you will. Mm-hmm. And it gets split up with the rest of the country so that they can make their infrastructure better. Well, only first world countries have to adhere to this. So England, right? UK becomes third world when it comes to this sort of thing. France, third world. China, third world. So that way they don't have to pay. They don't have to pay the fines. As long as they promise they'll try to make it better. So why do we want to do that? It's kind of like a NATO thing. Why are we paying for all of it? Nobody's paying for anything, and then you want to criticize us.
I just think it's a problem of scale. I always say a lot of that.
No, I always say that. But you were 100% correct. Definitely a problem with scale.
I don't and to be an ignorant American, when you think of France, you don't think of industry. You don't think of you think maybe some wine farms and some bakeries.
Now, France used to be different. They still are our first ally.
Yeah.
And our best ally.
But when you think of America, you still, even though it's lessened, you think of manufacture, industrialization, huge levels of our agriculture. You think of all these different things that, yes, count towards greenhouse emission and all that stuff. But we're also bigger. So
yeah, and China's worse than we are, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a thing. And I think when a lot of Europeans think of America, they don't think of any of that sort of thing. They think of excess, we're rude, and military. Because think about it. We show up to a country, we bring in a lot of dollars and stuff like that. So naturally, we're the problem. But I don't think we as Americans and our AC, which is the least carbon emitting thing out there that we do, our cars are worse than this for sure. Yeah, there's nothing to worry about with that sort of thing. But I just think it's funny. We're the problem because we're criticizing Europe. No, there's a lot of places in Europe that love air conditioning. China loves air conditioning.
Asia.
They got it. Well, I'm talking about China in general because they have, they make a lot of the things that we buy, and a lot of the homes actually have air conditioning. So it's just kind of like, well, here we go. The whole AC thing. It just seems like it won't end. You know what else won't end?
What?
The superbug that's been hitting 27 states.
Oh, Jesus.
And, and it's funny because this is sort of ties into maybe a little bit of a conspiracy. We talked about this probably going on 5 years now. Mm-hmm. They're taking our food away.
Okay.
So we've had food manufacturing facilities that make a lot of the stuff. There was, 3 or 4 of them actually burnt to the ground. We had egg facilities that caught on fire, burnt to the ground. Mm-hmm. A couple million pounds of meat have been recalled because of listeria.
Yeah.
That's about 2 years ago. There's more listeria outbreaks being that are out right now. I think recalled like 14.7 million units. And this wasn't even the food. It was stuff on the plastic that wraps the food had listeria. Right? And to top it all off, along with the parasitic bug, we have this fungal supercloud thing coming, this superstorm, fungus storm. They're trying to keep us scared because they tried a couple different things. They tried a hantavirus. That didn't scare us sufficiently enough, so they have to keep adding these diversionary tactics to what's going on. So we're going to talk about a couple of them. Like this whole superbug thing that hits 27 states is pretty bad, right?
Yeah. Oh, and you forgot the dog food recall that just happened last week.
Oh, yeah, and the dog food recall. And it's funny because I got an email from Taco Bell going, hey, guys,
it's safe to eat.
Safe to come back again.
Yeah.
We take it all seriously. And they're blaming it effectively on, is it Taylorsville Farm that supplies all this stuff. What they're not saying is that this superbug, this explosive diarrhea parasite thing, we're where does it come from? It doesn't just come from, it's just not there. I believe it comes from the poop.
Taylor
fecal
Fresh
poop.
Taylor Fresh Foods recalls iceberg lettuce from central Mexico because of possible health risk.
Now, there was a problem with fertilizer, as in the lack of being able to get fertilizer. And there's a theory going around that there are countries that don't have fertilizer like we have access to fertilizer. So they use a different type of fertilizer that's primarily derived from human feces.
Ugh.
Yeah, so it's like humanure.
Humanure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, when we traveled, when I was in the Navy and we went to overseas, we were cautioned a lot about eating the local fruits and things like that because they wanted to make sure they could feed us. But hey, just be aware, a lot of these foods are actually fertilized with human manure. And it's common over there. So you eat in a lot of these places. This is primarily in the Middle East and stuff. You eat, not a big deal, right? If you're used to that sort of thing, Montezuma's Revenge doesn't actually show up when you're already used to it, right? Mm-hmm. Well, it was taking some of us out.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, hey, you guys want some of these beautiful, delicious Mediterranean blood oranges? No, thank you. I do not. I don't want any fruit or vegetables from the Middle East because it's made with humanure. Mm-hmm. But eventually, you don't have a choice. You get to the point where you have to eat it, and your body sort of acclimates to it, and you just go on with your life. Well, over here, we have laws against that sort of thing. You can't use people poop for manure. Mm-hmm. Because you get things like listeria outbreaks. You get this E. coli superbug. You get E. coli. You get all these terrible things that we're just not used to.
Yeah.
And I think that may be part of the problem, what we're experiencing now.
But this superbug, 27 states, this is a lot.
Yeah, the CDC is investigating the parasite.
And then this, which is Candida auris, a fungus that was first reported in the U.S. in 2016, has spread rapidly over the past several years. It can survive on surfaces for long periods of time before spreading to patients through catheters, breathing tubes, and IVs.
Moisture stuff.
Yeah. This fungus can be deadly in the healthcare setting where it spreads, where people are often already sick or immunocompromised or vulnerable.
Yeah.
So since it's spreading rapidly, they don't have a way to really treat it because it's very drug resistant.
Yeah.
And I guess, oh wow, there's a heat map, and it is terrible because it's showing basically California and Nevada are in big trouble, as well as Texas. Luckily,
and this is what fever is this called again? It has a name.
Candida auris.
No, but I mean, it has like a nickname. Oh, wow. It went right out of my head. I even wrote it down so I wouldn't forget what it's actually. What
Did you say Valley fever?
Valley fever. There we go.
Really?
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. Is this an actual thing to be worried about? Let me explain. Mm-hmm. This has been around since the 70s, right? This fungus lives in the dirt. Now, in the Southwest, in places where it's primarily dry, like the desert, you get dust storms. So they're acting now like these dust storms are going to kick up this spore,
I think
this fungus, and spread it across the U.S., and it's going to take us out. And it's kind of not, because it's always been there, and the amount of people that actually get sick from this sort of thing and die is very, very low.
So valley fever is coccidioides.
Well, it's one of the funguses that you can get that's supposed to be making up the fungus storm.
Okay, because
see, now they're adding on to it. So it was the Candida auris, and now they're adding the valley fever to it, trying to say the desert and the dust storms are going to kick all this up in the air, and you got to watch out for it. And the only way to make sure that you can sort of help yourself is to not go outside, stay indoors.
I do think it's interesting that the heat map for this Candida auris is very similar to the heat maps for the valley fever, aka coccidioidomyocosis.
Sure, and if you look up the hantavirus heat map, so it's all kind of the same, and it seems like it's kind of getting back into stay inside, guys. And so they can't directly say we need you to stay inside. But they can just suggest it. And there's enough people who were so freaked out during the coronavirus right?
Yeah.
Wearing masks in their cars, by themselves, so they're going to infect themselves, all that crazy stuff. And it just got to a fever pitch of all the misinformation that was out there and the fear mongering and fear tactics. It really scared a lot of people, but they're going to get some kind of result from this. I think a lot of this stuff is a diversionary tactic because this stuff has been around for a long time. And the stuff I was looking at was saying, you got to better watch out. The following week, and we're talking, after July 18th or 19th, the fungus storms are going to spread across the U.S. And it's going to go to the west first, and then it should start dwindling its way over towards the East Coast. Well, what's happening right now?
El Nino.
Rain.
Yeah.
A lot of places where this stuff is coming from is getting wet. It's getting rained on, which is what happens. It keeps this stuff low. So how much of this stuff do we actually have to worry about? It just seems like there's just a bunch of things that's been sort of tacking on to keep us in check, keep us in our place, keep us in the house, and keep us from eating food.
Yeah, that.
Now, on that side of the fence, there is that parasitic superbug that's in the lettuce and stuff like that. It's giving people explosive diarrhea, and you got to watch out for that. That's pretty serious business. CDC has investigated. There's been at least 145 cases of this cyclosporasis.
Yeah.
Across 17 states.
57 million units of food.
Yeah.
For allergens, listeria, and plastic trigger alerts.
Wait, that's a different thing. We're talking about the cyclosporasis.
Yeah.
Follow along now, because this is the stuff that you got to watch out for, and I got to watch out for. But according to Taco Bell, we're just fine with the email. But I don't know if I trust it. You know what I mean? I get an email, hey guys, everything's great. We reached out to them, told them to get rid of this stuff. Everything's fine. Come on back and eat at Taco Bell. Yeah, they're being proactive. But I haven't heard anything from the alleged farm was spreading this. They haven't said anything. So how can I trust Taco Bell? Where are they getting their stuff from? Because at Taylor's Farm, they supply like everybody. It's evidently real bad in like Michigan. So the CDC says there's a higher risk of infection when living in or traveling to tropical or subtropical regions where the parasite is more common. Okay, is Michigan like a subtropical thing? Place? I don't think so. I always think of Michigan as being cold, right? So this is a type of food poisoning. It's caused by the parasites. People usually become infected from eating contaminated food or water. It's not usually life-threatening. People can experience severe symptoms, including cramps, nausea, fatigue, vomiting, and the most commonly reported symptom is watery diarrhea, with frequent, sometimes explosive bowel movements. And if it's not treated with antibiotics, cyclosporasis, however you say that, can last anywhere from a few days to over a month, and symptoms can also go away and then return. So it's kind of like, what's going on, man? New York has been the hardest hit. They've had, 31 to 80 people sickened. What is that? 31 to 80? They just guessing?
I don't know. I can't.
I mean, you were sick for a long time, a couple weeks, and it's in our area.
We have 200 reported cases.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, what's going on here? Why are we having these issues now? Huh?
I don't know. I'm having a hard time following the show notes.
Well, if I usually just click the links, so we talk about them. But the fungus thing is a relatively new thing. That's the new scare. The cyclosporasis stuff, that's been around for a couple 3 weeks now, right? It seems to be growing in intensity. And then the other one, I'm not even sure what you're talking about with that one. Oh, the recalls is kind of going into the grand scheme of things, which seems like we're having more recalls with the listeria and other bugs and stuff than we have before. And it seems like it's all in there just as a general sort of thing. Like, what's going on with our food? Why is this a thing? Like, what's become so slack now?
That's the thing.
That this has become the thing.
A third-party company, Sedgwick, which is a corporate risk and claims agency, has basically reviewed federal recall records in its latest recall index report, and it's found, which is striking, that across the United States, food recalls reached 57.4 million units in the first quarter of 2026. That
Wow.
represents an incredibly steep jump, nearly a twofold increase from the 28.76 million food units recalled in the fourth quarter of 2025.
That's like double.
Yeah. So something has happened between last year and this year. The report identified pre-made foods, supplements, baked items, flavorings, and drinks as the categories hit the hardest by these massive recalls. Undeclared allergens, however, has been one of the biggest reasons behind some of these recalls, and non-bacterial contamination.
And bacterial.
Yeah.
Look, it's undeclared allergens,
Yeah.
foreign matter,
Yeah.
bacterial contamination, non-bacterial contamination, and labeling errors. This is like from not cleaning up.
Yeah.
You know, I worked in a restaurant, and we had to go do the food handler safety course. And it seems like a lot of the stuff that's causing these recalls is from not cleaning up. You know, you see somebody quartering up a raw chicken, you're supposed to clean up before you cut a salad.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that. And it just seems like a lot. And this is in the first quarter of 2026, and there's already 57.4 million units that are recalled.
Yeah.
Whereas last year, it took till the end of the year to get that far. I don't get it. It's like, is there no quality, no safety controls, nobody walking around going, if you can lean, you got time to clean kind of a thing? Or is this just because customer service has gotten to the point where workers don't care anymore, so they're just not doing it?
Well, I will say, okay, so here in North Carolina, it's very hot news right now about a certain liver mush company being shut down. It got shut down and sold off.
Liver mush is
But
gross.
the thing was, for the year following its very abrupt closure 2 or 3 months ago, they had managed to fail multiple safety, like food safety and handling things, including some very serious ones like leaving organ meat out.
Gross.
Or cross-contamination type things, improper storage while waiting for other things that you use to make liver mush. Now, all of these things got so severe after follow-up inspections that they were ordered to halt. And they kind of just...
Didn't.
They were told, you can either halt and hire new people or have all your people go through training again. And the cheapest thing is to have all your people go through new training again.
See, there should not be an option.
Yeah. And instead,
It goes back to problem scale.
we found out. And see, that's the thing. It's a smaller company. I mean, it's a local North Carolina only company.
Yeah, but they're looking at it like this. Let's play the gamble here.
Yeah.
How many people are going to get sick versus what we can sell? Because if nobody complains,
Yeah.
they just keep doing it. And then when somebody complains, they go, well, let's just say, we sold 1,000 units and one person got sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when it comes to these bigger factories that are doing the factory food and they're pushing out 10,000 units or whatever, 10,000 bags of iceberg lettuce a day, you have one problem, right? And that spans across 1,000 bags. And then they say, well, we're selling to, 15 million people. What's the odds of, our 1,000 bags causing a problem? And then, so there's unreported problems that they factor into the risk assessment as to what's the company risk versus the health risk. So they just look at it and then they go, well, we also have means of mediation. So if you get sick and you call them up and go, I got proof you gave me explosive diarrhea. They're like, oh, we're so sorry. Here's a coupon. And then you just escalate it up to where you might get a little bit of money out of it, get your hospital bills taken care of. And that's the end of the problem. And since you agree to those terms, you're not going to say anything to anybody. I get these mediation emails all the time. Oh, hey, we've updated our user terms and you agree by using your debit card that if there's a problem, you'll go to mediation before you do anything. And that keeps it out of the public eye, keeps it out of court. And I think that's just the corporate way of doing things these days. And if the FTC or the Federal Drug Administration and the CDC, if all those guys had some real teeth in the fight, they could say, we're shutting you down and we're making it public. Oh, and also, if you try to change your company name or change anything on how you're doing business to take the, if you try to mask your identity by starting another company, then we'll take your business away.
Which is funny because earlier this week, everybody kept calling it Taylor Fresh Farms. Now, the FDA is calling it Taylor Fresh Foods. The official statements on various news websites are Taylor Fresh Foods and Taylor Farms de Mexico. So which one of the doing business as names is actually causing the problem? Who pooped on my lettuce is what I want to know.
And did they get caught and say, we have all these bags of lettuce that we can't sell because, we got caught with poop in them. Let's shift them to another of our farms.
Yeah.
And then sell them from there. We'll rebag them, relabel them, whatever, and then sell them. They do that kind of thing.
And it's interesting you say that because that's what kind of happened with the pedigree recall because those cans, because those cans got caught. Somebody in quality control said, "Ooh, no, those have bits of metal and glass in them.
Yeah.
Let's remove them off the shelves and load them up into this truck to go get destroyed." And that truck apparently got on the interstate, did a couple loop-de-loops, and went to some shady factory where they just relabeled them and sold them to the public.
Sold them to an extreme discount.
Yeah. And with the Taylor Farms thing, there's this official statement, and they've had to name every single brand and labeling and packaging. And the one thing I noticed was there was only 2 or 3 of them that were actually retail. All the rest were for restaurants like Mark and CV and JB, Subway.
Taco Bell.
Yeah. So Taylor Fresh. So all these codes on the left-hand side, they're all restaurants. There was only 2 instances where these things were bagged salad that you could buy, and it's not telling me where I could get them from, which is very interesting. So
yeah, it's like wasn't that long ago where Boar's Head had a recall with all their delicious luncheon meats and stuff that you eat sandwiches out of, right?
Specifically, and we were eating when we found out it was Boar's Head that was sold at Kroger, Ingalls, Smith's.
Yeah. I remember not stopping my sandwich. I'm like, well, I've already committed. And that's like with the whole Cyclosporus thing. You bring home subs and it's got, spinach on there. And I got halfway through it going, huh. I wonder if is this considered lettuce? And the way this is all written out, is this lettuce or not? What is this here? Because the only way I could figure out maybe possibly it was part of it is because like Taco Bell, they stopped doing like onions and tomatoes and stuff like that. Whereas the Taylor's Farm's like, oh, this is lettuce, man.
And the initial,
she's like, well, hold on a minute.
But see, the initial reports, everybody was blaming it on bagged salads at stores and soft berries in your summer drinks. And when I first started showing symptoms, I was like, Starbucks, you son of a bitch. Yeah, because I thought I got sick from drinking strawberry Ossier lemonade with extra strawberries that I had ordered and paid for. So I did it to myself.
Yeah, you compounded the issue.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm eating kind of the same thing except for the strawberry Ossier, whatever, because I don't like that crap. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Which is weird for me. Usually, because I've had a weak stomach, man, since like 1991.
Yeah.
Come to find out that's part of a thing with Gulf War veterans and stuff. Oh, your guts are jacked up? Hey.
Yeah.
You could eat, you know what I mean? So
meanwhile,
I'm thinking, and then I'm like, she's sick. I hope this isn't contagious. And it may be. I'm like, I don't go anywhere. I try to, and it's like you're out there in the world, all the dangers. Mm-hmm. You bringing them home.
Yeah.
You and the dog.
Meanwhile.
Hey, you want some ticks?
Shut up.
It's tick season. Let's not even get started on the whole Lyme's disease is actually created in a lab so that they could drop boxes of ticks all over the world and incapacitate soldiers.
Oh, God. Meanwhile, I'm sick.
We talked about that in the last podcast.
And I'm still sick.
Well, you seem, you're pretty
I was
grumpy today. Usually that means you're on your mend.
No.
Like, what are you doing?
I was very grumpy last weekend, and that's why it was very good I went to the emergency room.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, you were grumpy in between naps.
Emergency room, 3 bags of fluid, and like 4 horse-sized pills of potassium.
Delicious. That sounds like an astronaut meal.
And I still have symptoms.
Yeah.
Oh, meanwhile, the weird cough that everyone in the South is experiencing right now, and your doctor's telling you it's allergies, but then it turns into full-on bronchitis. It's not allergies, y'all. It's starting to go around. Like one of my...
What is it?
I don't know. Nobody's giving it a name, but like everybody I know in like my social networks.
Well, think about this. We're in the area where Hurricane Helene destroyed and remapped and changed everything. So everything that has been buried in the past 100 years is coming back. There's still boiled water warnings and all of that sort of thing. And the water is you got to watch out for that kind of stuff because it's going to take many years for things to settle back to where they were. So who knows what this actually is.
And that's the thing, because like, okay, one of my friends who I haven't actually seen in 2 months, because we're both very busy, she's got the same exact coughing symptoms I've had for the past like 3 weeks now.
Maybe this has woken up some prehistoric thing.
She just got it last week, and she's like, guys, when does the sore throat go away? And, there's different people popping in. Oh, don't worry. The sore throat goes away after 3 days, but then you lose your voice for 2 days.
Nice.
And everybody's going to the doctor and we're being told it's allergies. But again, Helene happened. It's sticking with people for weeks, and some people are getting pneumonia from it.
Now we got fungus storms.
And that's
parasites, listeria.
Some sort of weird walking pneumonia.
They turned CERN off, so maybe things are going to be corrected back. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is like jet lag before we go back to the way things were.
Speaking of jet lag, so guys, I didn't have the parasite. It turns out I have E. coli.
I wouldn't have said that.
So,
there you go.
But
that's from drinking delicious.
They thought I had the
river
parasite,
water.
and I could have passed the parasite and also had E. coli.
Well, I mean, you are an overachiever.
I am. I really am.
I am not. So. I am. Stay away from me. I got my own things to worry about. And hey, there's some sort of twisted good news. If you're a person who does the GLP-1s and all that, and you're having a hard time pooping, maybe this bug will help you out.
Oh, God.
I'm just saying, because that's the trend now. Are you doing GLP-1s? Can you poop? No, of course you can't. Take magnesium, lots of magnesium. Buy this magnesium.
I see. That's the one thing they
that
told
stuff
me.
Works.
They're like, whether it's the parasite or E. coli, stop taking the magnesiums and stop taking the calcium carbonates, because you're just keeping the parasite or the E. coli in you longer.
I don't see how. If you take the magnesiums, depending on which magnesium you take, it speeds the process along. So you'll have extra explosive diarrhea. Just be blowing those guys out of you. Take this parasite. It's like, it's funny because
but I had 3 different doctors tell me that.
When I used to call into work, when you were like, I'm calling out sick, they really didn't want to know. They just want to know you're calling out sick, and that's what they. But one guy I talked to had a real queasy stomach, just in general. So I would explain, and he'd be like, I don't need to hear it. Stop it. I don't need to hear it. But the one thing, if you ever had any questions at all, if you called in and said, I have explosive diarrhea, they did not ever want you to come in.
Yeah.
Because, see, not only are you sick, but you're also placing the other coworkers at risk. That's a danger. Explosive diarrhea. It's a danger assessment.
Yes.
Because you may, not only affect you, but you may affect the person next to you. It's scary. But now, since this is in the news, people aren't going to be afraid of it that much anymore. They're just desensitizing us.
That's the thing about all this. Fungal storms, some sort of weird fungal invasion in hospitals, these food recalls. People are just not, they're going to get desensitized.
Yeah. Well, some people are going to be afraid.
And
so it makes me wonder what kind of diversionary tactic all this really is.
or if this is just going to lower all our expectations. Like,
Well,
well, that's just what happens when you go eat.
I do know that the people that are
Food.
like salads are for suckers.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a sheep. I'm not an animal. I don't eat this. I only eat meat. Or like, see? But yeah, but where were they 2 years ago? And they were called 10 million pounds of meat. Mm-hmm. So, salads for suckers.
I don't even know what tab I'm on.
Well, this I put in there because we're still talking about stuff we've talked about in the past, right? And we talked about eggs and the prices and egg gouging.
Oh, yeah.
This goes back, a couple of years ago when you go to buy a dozen eggs and they were like $5.74. It's probably even longer than that because the older you get, the more time seems to compress. And you're like, yeah, we just took that vacation. Like, no, baby, that was 7 years ago. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
And eggs being, incredibly pricey, there was like an egg shortage all of a sudden. And we're like, what do you mean there's an egg shortage? Because they had to kill a bunch of chickens, right, for salmonella.
Or no, it was some sort of bird thing.
Some bird thing. And they were wiping out all these chickens. And then, just last year we had chicken manufacturing plants caught on fire and all this stuff. And then here we go. The Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton basically has secured settlements with egg producers because of price gouging.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, and so these companies, they have to donate 53 million eggs to state food banks and other organizations because they all got together via email and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And said, hey, we need to raise the prices of eggs and basically make it out to be we're short and all this jazz. So you'll spend more and that, we can get more money.
It was last year. Actually, it was last year and the year before because remember we would go to Aldi and it would say egg purchase limit 2.
Yeah, because
and then
and remember I kept saying this is manufactured.
And it was because my friend Alicia was sharing pictures of the very fancy eggs that our friend Anna likes. And then the price of the Walmart eggs being the same exact price.
Yeah. And that's Walmart. Most of them are sticky. You always got to look.
God. But this is messed up because it's Cal-Maine Foods, Versova, Hickman's Egg Ranch were all found to be coordinating their bidding activity in order to push up for prices to be higher.
Yeah.
The bidding behavior prompted Urner Berry, a benchmark pricing service used in supply contracts, to raise the prices.
Yep. And they knew exactly what they were doing.
Yeah.
And so, this is the settlements are part of Attorney General Paxton's efforts to protect Texans from anti-competitive conduct in the agricultural market. And of course that spreads, right?
Yeah.
Because these all these places that distribute eggs, if they got to drop them in Texas, they got to drop them everywhere else, especially once the word gets out.
Yeah.
And I like what Paxton said. I will continue to hold any corporation accountable if they violate our laws and raise our prices on Texans.
He's also launched, I appreciate this one. He's also launched an investigation into anti-competitive behavior among meat packers in the beef industry.
Yeah. So, you know what I'm hoping?
What?
I'm hoping this spreads and we can start getting the extra cookies we're missing out of the packages and they start adding the shrinkflation stuff back into the products.
So because of my old job, I'm still very familiar with this. We're actually dealing with this competitive behavior in the beef industry here in North Carolina, where larger businesses will buy out entire blocks of basically meat packing, meat services, and block out stuff, edging out smaller farmers' opportunities to have their beef processed.
Yeah, they've been doing that for forever.
But it's gotten really bad, like 6-month waiting lists.
Yeah.
And which is why if you want to buy fresh food around here, it's there. It's just, it's expensive.
Yeah.
Fresh eggs around here, you're lucky if you get them for $7.
Well, and this kind of goes back to
$8.
farmers markets used to be where you went and you bought bulk produce or whatever, and it was inexpensive. That was the whole point. The farmers sold off whatever they had, to fulfill contracts or whatever. And then the rest would go to the farmer's market where they would try to recoup some of their loss or whatever, and you would get the benefit of being able to buy a peach the size of your head for 25 cents.
Yeah.
That's not the way anymore. Now it's like you go to a farmer's market, it's this bougie experience where you can go buy a loaf of $9 artisan bread, right? Buy 3 organic peaches for $17. And that's what that sort of turned into. It's no longer you're standing there talking to the farmer in overalls who still has the dirt on them from loading everything in a truck and stuff like that. Oh, and you showed me a sign that says 0 chance of diarrhea.
Our local farmer's market that shows up every Saturday at like hours that I just can't get to.
She should just, I'm assuming it's a girl, you should have just put diarrhea free.
Yeah. So they
organic diarrhea free.
In front of their farmer's market this morning, they had a little chalkboard sign that said 0% chance of diarrhea, 100% chance of crisp and fresh produce.
Yes. Only $9 we accept PayPal, right?
They take Venmo.
Or Venmo or Cash App.
Yeah.
I don't know. So we're going to wrap up our little segment called Last Episode Follow-Up, which is the things we talked about, by one last little jab at Europe. Mm-hmm. So Europeans been complaining about the heat. Well, guess what they got to watch out for now?
What?
A pollen bomb is heading their way.
Oh, God.
That's right. So they better watch out for the pollen bomb. Because if the heat wave wasn't bad enough, the Brits are being told, watch out for the pollen bomb. It's coming over.
A pollen bomb. How?
Yeah, over the next 4 days, and this was basically from 17 July till the 21st of July, depending on when you're listening to the podcast. The Brits have been urged to brace for a pollen bomb. Pollen levels have spiked across large parts of the UK, and it's expected to remain high for the next 4 days. Now, where we live in the South, and if you're like from Virginia on down, you know that when you get in your car, you turn on your windshield wipers to blow all the yellow dust off of it so you could see. Mm-hmm. It's been that way forever. So if the amount of air conditioning that they're allergic to and that we have that angers them, imagine now the pollen. We're going to hear about, you guys don't know about pollen. And it's going to be like, let me show you a lake. The lake is not normally yellow.
Yes.
This is the pollen from the trees releasing their seeds.
This is the 2-inch layer of pollen film across our local lake.
It's like, oh, have you been sanding a banana yellow boat out in the yard? Well, no, I've been cutting grass. So you have to blow yourself off with a leaf blower because you don't want to bring that banana yellow pollen in the house.
So their heat wave is expected to last for another 10 days.
Just in time for a nice spell of prolonged misery. The pollen
And they're going to be
bomb.
sleeping with their windows open.
Well, most partly open.
Yeah, partly open.
A lot of them can't open up all the way, which is crazy to me. But
so
they need some rain. Rain will knock a lot of that down.
But I hate to say this, but I'm actually looking forward to this because I never hear about allergies over there.
Right. Well, it's usually moist enough where it's not a thing.
Oh, okay.
The whole London fog thing, that of course was caused by mechanized industry and all that stuff, but it can be gloomy most of the time. I've watched people's videos where they're like, one thing that I love about America, I can't believe how sunny it is. Because there's large spells of time over there where you don't see the sun. They don't have the sun like we do.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about, it's gloomy. A lot of it's gloomy. You do have sun. Why do you think they're so pasty? If you're in a spot, you can be pasty because you don't get enough sun exposure or whatever. Whereas if you got people living in like California or for a bright sunny place, have the delicious tans and all that stuff because it's the sun.
That is something I complained about when we got here.
What, it's delicious tans?
No, how often it rained and like how all these overcast days. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, we had 60 overcast rain days in New Mexico last year. Yeah. And people are like, what? And I'm like, yeah, that's right. We had over 297 full sun days. And people are like, that can't be true. And I'd be like pulling up the weather almanac. And I'm like, yeah, that means my seasonal depression was only 60 days long, y'all.
Yeah. You could be working on a project and leave stuff outside.
Yeah. Without worrying about it.
You could like leave a car that you stole out in the desert and it'll still be good for years.
Yeah.
And things don't really rust. You did that out here. It's like you could be a body laying in the desert and be mummified and be there for 100 years, right? Mm-hmm. Here, 2 weeks, man, it's gone.
Yeah.
That's why the hantavirus and all these parasites and funguses and stuff live in the dirt because they just go into hibernation mode because they're too dry to do anything,
But
yeah, the pollen bomb is heading. So now I will say I do have some sympathy as a person who suffers allergies, man. and they're going to get weed pollen, which is the worst. So if they're out there cutting grass or doing whatever, man, that's the swollen eyes, the runny nose, the cough, the throat drain, all of that nasty stuff. So I feel bad for them, but
they're not going to be having the same level of allergies as like you and like.
I mean, we got people here who can't even cut their grass, Dave. Just saying, because I mean, you have different types of pollen, of course, but I guess it's going to be bad for them since they don't normally get it like we do every single year, where it happens from spring all the way into like September, because you have different plants and stuff releasing their seeds
and
trying to procreate at different times of the year, like that goldenrod crap. This stuff is terrible.
My allergy appointment is like in August.
Yeah. Well, it's like they told me, we'll give you about 200 shots over 26 weeks, and you may or may not be cured of your allergies. Every week you just come in and get 2 shots. And I'm like, so you want me? I got to drive here and back a couple times a week for you guys to jab me. And at the very end of it, there is a 60% chance I'll be fine and not have allergies, or a 40% chance that you're going to keep having the allergies.
Okay.
That's like I'm an adult and they want me to get the shingles vaccine. I already have gotten the shingles vaccine, but they're like, if hey, there is an over 90% chance that you're not ever going to get shingles, but we got a vaccine for you. So I could take it or leave it, because they're like, but if you do get it, it's pain. I'm like, yeah, but if I do get it, there's still a 90% chance that I won't get it, and I'll never have to experience that pain. So it's kind of like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? Yep. So calm, dry days can lead to high pollen levels as pollen accumulates near the source. Yes. By contrast, cooler conditions, higher humidity, and rain tend to reduce airborne pollen, at least temporarily. Also, yes. So Wales and Southwest England are expected to see the worst conditions with very high pollen levels.
Oh.
Depending on the day and everything else that goes with that, right? And they're saying now this is mainly due to weed pollen, although moderate to high levels of grass pollen are still around. But, there you go. So AC, pollen, what else are they trying to get? And, just to make things worse, your air conditioner with the filter can go a long way to filter out pollen.
Yes.
That's why you should change it every month or 2 months or whatever it is, depending on where you live.
Yeah.
So, imagine. What do you think about that?
I think change your air filters.
There you go.
Yep.
So, for the past 5 years, off and on, we've talked about these treasure hunters trying to get this Civil War gold. And then the FBI swooping in magically all of a sudden. And now the gold is gone. And they're like, hey, we know you took the gold. Right? And they've been subpoenaing records. And they've been trying to fight these guys, the FBI, over the mysterious missing gold dig that they did, where they knew the gold was, where they allegedly did. And they just showed up and it was gone. Mm-hmm. Well, not admitting any kind of blame or anything, but to me, this is, accepting of the blame. Treasure hunters have settled a lawsuit with the FBI over mysterious dig for Civil War gold.
Oh.
So this is a years-long battle with these a pair of treasure hunters, right? And they basically found this hoard of Civil War gold, and then all of a sudden, they had to sue the Justice Department because they're all of a sudden got kicked off the dig and everything just sort of disappeared, right? So the family of these gold hunters, treasure hunters, they've achieved various legal victories, and that kind of provided them with an array of compelling records from the 2018 dig that further convinced them that the legendary Civil War gold had been secretly recovered. And so one of the comments from Dennis Parada said, the information that we got from the FBI files is very damaging. It's a massive cover-up. It's sloppy work, and I'm surprised they even put it in their files. Mm-hmm. So I guess the FBI is not good at stealing, which I guess gives me some, it's like, all right, good. So after besting the Bureau in court yet again, this past April, the treasure hunters reportedly settled with the Department of Justice, and the terms of the deal saw the treasure hunters receive $52,000 for legal expenses in exchange for them ending their pursuit for answers from the FBI. So it kind of seems like
they still got the short end of the stick, in
Yeah,
my
they only
opinion.
got 52 grand. You can get more than that from a car wreck,
And
I guess.
heck, probably half of that's going to go towards legal fees.
That's what they're saying. That's for the legal expenses
they
in
need
exchange.
to, yeah.
So I wonder what secretly happened on the side where it's like, okay, look, we're not going to admit anything. We're going to pay for your legal fees. And there may be a couple bricks of gold at your doorstep, buddy. Maybe, maybe not.
I would like to think that happened. I could dream.
It doesn't seem right.
I love treasure hunters. I want to be a treasure hunter.
Treasure hunting
but
is
I'm
cool.
too.
I don't have the patience.
Yeah.
I got to have some kind of, okay, so I can't go and do this for years and years without any kind of like, here's a little taste. I'm not like what's that show, the Lost Oak Island thing where they'll find a little snack, a little morsel of the treasure and be like, ooh, and they just keep
string
doing
them
it.
along.
I'm just like, eventually you just got to go, look, man, this is a lot. So I think the reason why they just decided to kind of give it up is because with all that stuff that they got from the FBI, and all their information, they're going to sue the Philadelphia branch of the U.S. Mint.
Oh.
Which I guess, now I don't really know because I'm not but I guess what did the FBI find the gold and send it to the Philadelphia Mint? So that these guys, the treasure hunters, know that there actually was some gold and it disappeared and showed up in the Mint?
That would make sense.
They could take all this stuff that they got from the FBI and say, we know you got it.
Yeah.
And we want our part of it because we found it first.
We're going to have to drag the Mint into federal court and get pictures and videos of all the gold that would enter that building, he said. 1.1 billion in gold disappeared and nobody's asking questions except us. This isn't right.
So the FBI is like, look, man, we just need you to stop. Meanwhile, have you taken a look at the files?
Yeah.
That's Philadelphia, bro.
Let's pull the wise cam
if we find a bunch of gold, what do we
doorbell footage.
Yeah, it's like, if we find gold, we got to give it to the Mint. That's the law.
Yeah.
And we would have to give it to the closest Mint, which would be Philadelphia. So if $1.1 billion approximate of Civil War gold was absconded by the FBI can't keep it. Where are they going to, where are they going to put it, right? So it has to go to the Mint. So if they have all this paperwork and stuff for those years and years of being in court, or fighting with the FBI, if the FBI said, well, we'll pay all your legal bills and you get to keep all the information as long as you leave us out of it. Now they're going to sue the Philadelphia Mint. So they're not giving up necessarily. They could have got probably more money from because think about it. Which would you rather have? Maybe get $1 million settlement or whatever from the FBI? Or have all this information and somebody go, we'll pay for your legal expenses, which is, I know it's 52 grand, but you have the opportunity to probably reclaim $1.1 billion in gold, because even if it's a small percentage, you know what I mean? Say they get 30% of 1.1 billion. That's a whole lot more than 52,000 for sure. I'm not going to do the math, so don't even think about it.
Oh, no, I was too busy looking up the treasure hunting laws in North Carolina.
Oh.
Sorry.
Just in case we get lucky. And we may stand to, claim tens of dollars.
North Carolina mirrors federal protections through its Archaeological Resources Protection Act, which prohibits unauthorized digging or artifact collection on state-owned land. The penalties include up to $2,000 in fines per day, up to 6 months in jail. And that is found directly from the city of Southport, North Carolina, which is known pirate territory.
Yeah.
So, but nobody's going over exact treasure hunting rules.
Yeah, it's funny because we have an Oak Island in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And that's why when I first watched the Oak Island show, that's kind of where I thought it was at first. Because Blackbeard, we have Blackbeard and all that stuff too. It's like, that was part of our learnings in elementary school in Virginia Beach and stuff, since we're connected to Carolina so close. We learned about pirates and stuff in our colonial stuff, which is always exciting. Blackbeard being scary. So that was kind of neat. So, have you ever heard of the ESP Olympics?
I have, but I don't remember.
Yeah, it's kind of a blurb I stuck in here because Dr. Jeff Mishlove pitched the ESP, Extrasensory Perception Olympics, to Hollywood. And then 40 years later, someone built it called the Psy Games.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is a television idea that was ahead of its time, right? Mm-hmm. So it says, how a television idea ahead of its time, martial artist vision, and the elders who said, how can I help you, became the first Pioneers Olympics. So, and everything we talk about in the podcast is available, all the links and stuff from the show notes. So if you go to CreepGeeks.com, you can read them up at your leisure, right?
Yeah.
So 40 years ago, a man walked into a Hollywood production office with the idea for a television show. He called it the ESP Olympics.
Okay.
He imagined it as a friendly tournament, a place where people could do quite astonishing things with their minds, right? And instead of being studied under fluorescent lights or whatever, they could just simply play the game, compete, and show what a human being is capable of. Open to anyone, for anyone to see. And nobody was interested. It's like, oh. So he gave the next 4 decades to the nearest thing the world would allow. He sat across from nearly everyone who ever seriously asked whether the mind could reach beyond the body. And he kept the conversation alive with the wider culture, while the wider culture looked away. And his name is Dr. Jeffrey Mishlove.
Yeah.
At least I think that's how it's said. So in this summer in Charlotte, North Carolina, Jeff will sit as a judge at a gathering of what they're calling the Psy Games. The ESP Olympics he dreamed of half a lifetime ago has been built at last by another man's hands.
Oh.
It sounds weird.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the story of how it happened, and I don't know how this is going to go. So the Psy Games are the creation of Hakeem Isler, who's a martial artist and a survival instructor from Charlotte, and he holds a 5th-degree black belt, a Godan, and a Tusandu, modern school of ninjutsu, certified wilderness instructor. So he's got a little bit of a pedigree, right? Mm-hmm. And so he's considered a living modern ninja.
Wait, where is he going to...
I don't know. He describes the Psy Games as the true first message he ever received. Not a plan he sat down and made, something that arrived whole and kept returning. So he, anyway, so he's got a quest with this, right? And so here's some of the competitions that are going to be held. Ready?
Yeah.
Remote viewing.
Okay.
So you can describe a place hidden, right?
Yeah.
From all ordinary sight. Mind sight, which is perceiving color and the shape and text while blindfolded. Dowsing, which you use the body, right, to go out there and find things. So you basically, it's the body locating what the mind cannot see. Precognition, which is knowledge of something in advance of its occurrence. And psychokinesis, like bending spoons and stuff. Maybe setting something on fire, right?
Uh-huh.
So check this out. Last year, in its first outing, where they had some people who could demonstrate these abilities, the gathering drew more than 600 people. And over the past year, people have trained for this event, just like an athlete would. So when they do it again, there's probably going to be even more people.
So this is happening at the Westin in Charlotte.
The what?
The Westin.
Is that a hotel?
Yeah. I think I actually stayed there for my media tour.
Oh. Was it nice?
It's very nice. It's old, though. Starts in 12 days, 13 hours, 5 minutes. Would you like to know the cheapest ticket price?
Yes.
That those people paid?
Yes.
$475 is the cheapest ticket.
Just to go?
Just to immerse yourself in the thrilling Psy competitions and cheer on competitors.
How much?
$475. Access to all keynote addresses.
So $1,000 with tax if we wanted to go see this. Do you even get a discount at the Westin while you're there?
No.
Really?
That's in the next up package.
Oh.
So the basic ticket includes all lectures and panels, but does not include workshops. If you'd like the gold package, it's $575 to attend, with 3 workshop passes, a special edition t-shirt, a book, and you get to attend the very special book signing Phoenix of the Heart.
So let me guess, the Monroe Institute will be there, I'm sure, represented.
I think so, actually.
And artists and writers as such, with all the books that you can get. So is this basically just like a ESP conference?
Yeah.
Where they're going to have a competition?
Yes. So there is.
They make it act like it's going to be the Olympics in a show. Like, can we not live stream this? Can I pay like $89 and watch it happen live?
View the lineup. Let's see. Let's view.
Because that would be kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather spend $89 to watch, whatever this is.
Oh my goodness.
Turns out to be.
This is a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
I am still scrolling. Yeah, so there's a lot of competitors.
This almost reminds me of that UFO thing that happens in the desert.
Contact in the desert.
Yeah.
And it's funny you say that. There are some similar names in here.
Well, yeah, people got to make the rounds, man. They got to do the circuit.
Tom McNear, remote viewer. I know we've talked about him. Thomas Campbell, theoretical physicist and consciousness researcher. I know we've talked about them. Nick Cook, investigative journalist and consciousness researcher. A lady who has named herself JK Ultra. Dale Graff. Okay, so there's some names. But
well, this is obviously not the Olympics I was looking for.
yeah, it's Meet the Perceptualist. Let me click here. Oh,
Like,
this is
would
set
you
up
like
like
to-
Hunger Games. Jeez.
Well, okay, so one of the things I was looking at has the Hunger Games bird.
Yeah.
Was it the Mockingjay? Interesting.
What was the name of that organization you said?
I think I said Monroe Institute.
Social RV, Vision Without Eyes, VibraVision, Monroe Institute, Roxiva, Monroe Institute, Edgeley Wheel, and Cusack, IRVA, SRV. They got sponsors. Edgar Casey ARE,
They probably got to go for free.
Center Lane Project, Controlled Remote Viewing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. VWE. They've got some sponsors.
Well, it might be something cool.
Yeah.
If it's worth it. If there's any YouTube clips or something that pops out where it shows somebody like moving a ping pong ball with their mind or whatever, something that convinces me, maybe we'll drop the money.
Yeah.
And by maybe, I mean no. So speaking of no, we actually talked about this guy before, and we decided that we probably weren't going to do it if it's the same guy I think it is.
Yeah.
Because, he was going to display a Bigfoot body in New York, and you could go see it. I think it was at the New York State Fair or whatever. So he's having a hard time proving the corpse's authenticity. It's been an uphill battle for him. This is Snake. That's his name.
Yeah.
Snake the Bigfoot Hunter. Claims he found decomposing remains of an 8-foot-tall, 300-pound Bigfoot in Adirondacks in the upstate New York area. Mm-hmm. And he was decomposing when he found it, right? He says, I could smell it because his body was decaying. And so he talked to Jesse Webster on television and basically is explaining why it's been so hard with the skeptics and everything like that and trying to get that this is proven to be a Bigfoot. So, of course, how you're going to prove it, you're going to use DNA.
Yeah.
Which to me is a trap. So if you don't have any record of Bigfoot and Bigfoot DNA on record, you only have a record of what you already know. How can you compare to something unknown? You can't. That'd be like trying to compare, you say, I think I got a chupacabra. What is this? And you're only going to be able to do a comparison to what you already have on file.
Yeah.
And you're going to say, it's kind of like this, or it's kind of like that, or it shares these similarities. Kind of like when you send your dog off, like dog DNA off to figure out what it is, and they come back with this thing. Oh, it's comparatively 30% Jack Russell Terrier. or whatever. And they list all these things of what it could be.
Yeah.
So skeptics doubt his story, of course. They don't believe the remains are real, and DNA testing has proven that the remains are real. So here's the sort of the test breakdowns, right? 58.5% Neanderthal. 41.5%, and that's mixed with 41.5%, I should say, human, and some of that's indigenous.
Huh.
So one of the interesting things we found on our specimen, and this is what Snake was telling TV guy Weber, was this reproductive bone. That's an anomaly that the Bigfoot has that is also in polar bears. And these are adaptations that allow to procreate in an aggressive way. And that leads us to think that they don't actually form family units. They're very nomadic, and if they do engage, it's just for aggressive procreation, and then they go their separate ways. That's a whole lot of surmising just because it has a bone, like a bone.
Yeah.
I don't see how that would, anyway. So not only does Snake have the creature out on display back home in New York for the public, he's also trying to get researchers to come take a look. I did get a documentary team to come and peer-reviewed the DNA, and this is a documentary team from Japan, and they filmed a little movie on this, and they've released it there.
Oh.
So he's got a Japanese documentary team that came and made a movie. I wonder if it's the same documentary show that contacted you with your cryptid stuff.
Yeah.
And wanted to buy it from you so that they could put it on the show,
Yeah.
I
don't know.
I mean, I know Japan's big compared to just the one person that contacted you.
Yeah.
It's like saying, oh, yeah, you're in the Navy? My brother's in the Air Force. Do you know him? Well, yeah, a couple million people.
Japan
sure, I know
does
him.
have a couple of major television networks, well, like 3 significant ones that love this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So, and the person did say they represented, 3 or 4. So they could have just been trying to buy it outright.
Yeah, that's possible. So they could spread the wealth.
Yeah.
So that way they could, have their 75 shows that are all the same, like has been happening here.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So for all the naysayers out there, because he's been saying it's been an uphill battle, right?
Yeah.
Trying to get his results proven and people to accept his results. I'll just say that people do not believe in Bigfoot have something I call BDS, Bigfoot Derangement Syndrome.
Oh, gosh.
I'm sure that's very helpful. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not going to play the thing, but he says Bigfoot is a Neanderthal human hybrid. You know what else is a Neanderthal human hybrid?
The current human
people in general. Some people have more Neanderthal than others, and they also have more indigenous than others.
Yes.
So I don't know. We'll have to see about that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to. Anyway. So I had to put this in here because we are Creep Geeks, and I thought this was pretty interesting technology to talk about, and this could be kind of helpful. The U.S. government approves a satellite that turns night into day.
I don't like that at all.
I do. If it's used in the right hands. If it falls in the wrong hands, you create a laser death beam.
Oh.
It's not really laser, though. You know how they think that the whole Greek fire thing and the other thing, I can't think what they actually called it, when they were setting the ships ablaze was used with mirrors. That was a theory. Mythbusters did a thing about it or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, this California startup has received FCC approval for a mirrored satellite that will reflect the sun's rays on the Earth's dark side. So it can provide light on demand for an area roughly 3 miles wide. That's kind of cool. So the company called Reflect Orbital paints a picture of a futuristic utopia promising enhanced safety for search and rescue operations, extended hours for agricultural and solar panel productivity, and a world where the shadows of the night are banished at the flip of a switch. So, of course, with anything weird like this, the project has sparked a firestorm of controversy. And this is an article off Coast to Coast by Alec Fernandez. So they're drawing scrutiny from both regulators and the scientific community, and the critics warn that the intense, concentrated beams could pose a serious hazard to drivers, potentially causing flash blindness and wreak havoc on sensitive astronomical observations. And the reaction online has been equally sharp, with one Reddit user, of course it's a Reddit user, sarcastically whipping, "Yay, more wildfires." What are you doing? Why are you looking outside? Somebody looking at me?
FedEx is here.
Oh, okay. We got cameras, everybody. So now, the FCC's decision covers only a single demonstration satellite, not the company's much larger long-term vision of 50,000 similar devices. So, nevertheless, the debate illuminates a bigger question. If we can engineer artificial daylight, should we?
No.
And of course, they'd say, hey, if you'd like to let us know what you think, click our Facebook page. We're not doing that.
No.
I mean, I like the idea because I seen a thing, I think it was National Geographic, where there's a town that's always in darkness, even in the summertime, where they're located, right? It's like in the Swiss Alps or French Alps or somewhere like that, where it's super cold.
Yeah.
And this dude goes up on a hill, and he takes this big mirror array, and he points it at the town so that the town can actually have some sunlight and keep things kind of warmed up because it's perpetually in shadow. And they did this to basically help people, right? To alleviate depression and things like that, but primarily so that when the tourists will go, the tourists will stop and spend some money for the small town. So he just points this big giant mirror, and the reflection from the mirror basically lights up the side of the town that they, want to be illuminated because it's dark all the time. Also reminds me of Indiana Jones, where the guys, he's taking the mirrors and aligning them so he can illuminate where the tomb is, and in the movie with Lilo Dallas Multipass, in the very beginning, where the kid's aligning the mirrors so that the guy can read the hieroglyphs and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What's the name of that movie? It's one of my favorite movies. I can't remember the name of it.
The Fifth Element?
There you go, The Fifth Element. Yeah. I wrote that a long time ago.
No, you did not.
Okay. Well, speaking of fake rangers.
Okay.
I thought this was actually pretty funny. You want me to tell you about it? I seen it on TikTok, so it may or may not be real.
Okay.
But the story is fantastic. So it kind of goes like this.
Who have
hold on, that's not it. That's something different. Here we go. A man is arrested after posing as a national park ranger. In a national park. He was dressed like a park ranger and all that because he was warning people as they were going on a trail, right?
Yeah.
About a lizard. It was a made-up lizard that he made up, right? So in Flagstaff, Arizona, Reed Callahan, who's 39, was arrested Saturday. This is a while ago. After officials said he posed as a national park ranger for the entire day and warned dozens of hikers about a dangerous lizard that he had completely invented. So he showed up wearing the the green fleece and a hat. It said Trail Safety Division. He bought this online, right? He stopped hikers at the trailhead to warn them about the Arizona cliff screecher.
Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah. It's a lizard that does not exist in any record, of course. He says he described it as a 3-foot-long, mildly judgmental, and drawn-to-bright socks lizard. And it's like he was also handing out fake safety pamphlets.
Oh, this is so good.
He ran a full lizardness preparedness briefing and had the hikers practice the freeze and whistle technique.
He set up a folding table with a warning poster he'd drawn himself and a donation jar for research.
Yeah, that's probably why he got arrested.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But, oh man, several hikers reportedly turned back in fear before officials confirmed the lizard was entirely fictional and he had no affiliation with the park.
Yeah, and when a real ranger confronted him, Callahan calmly said, "You clearly haven't seen what I've seen out there."
and adjusted his hat. Oh,
so
my gosh.
So this guy is probably obviously like a content creator, right?
Yeah. Oh,
So-
in 22 years, I have removed a lot of people from these trails, but never one protecting them from nothing, says Officer Dana Cortez, reading the report aloud. I want to point out that approximately 2-3 weeks ago, there was these people It happened twice in 2 different major art museums, getting arrested and removed from the art museums for taking people on tours and making up everything about these historic artworks. So I think this is a trend. And when I read about these and listened to it on podcasts, these, like, one was a guy who he was dressed appropriately, so he looked like a museum docent or something, right?
Yeah.
And he led like a crowd of 15 people through this major art museum, and it was like, and over here we have the shmaga blah, 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 right, painted when he lost a bet, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And these podcasts were like, wouldn't this make a great, like, first date where you go to a museum together and just make up facts? Or wouldn't this make a great gag? I think this is the new gag going around.
I think it's fun.
I think this is perfect. Like, imagine doing this at, like, the Brown Mountain Lights, or the Linville Gorge. Well, you got to be careful of the Linville lizard, I mean,
a 3-foot-long, mildly judgmental, and drawn to bright socks lizard. Let's do the whistle and screech method.
the drawn to bright socks.
Yeah. Lizard preparedness briefing. I like that.
Oh,
freeze and whistle technique.
Oh, this is so good.
What do they freeze and his whistle? And the lizard's like, oh, and gets distracted.
Because, like, in Jurassic Park, remember, you had to hold really still because
what's the whistle for?
The whistle was to, I don't know.
Draw them directly to you in your brightly colored socks.
Maybe it's like, because I know where he got the freeze, Jurassic Park. Maybe the whistle, he probably was like, and the whistle makes you sound like a bird. And these lizards are afraid of birds.
It's 3 feet long and mildly judgmental.
This...
So ridiculous.
He is committing to this, I mean, that freezing. Oh,
I would have gave him $1 just for the show.
I know, right?
But we've been to national parks, and you do see some people, like that guy that got flipped in the air with a buffalo that everybody's
Or when we went to the Grand Canyon.
Was making fun of him, but he did everything right. But,
When we went to the Grand Canyon, and that dude in the costume approached me, and I was like, oh, the Grand Canyon has people dressed up in costumes, and instead he was telling me about horrible things.
Yeah.
That was...
Well, every national park has weirdos.
Yeah. It's like, did you know the Grand Canyon is racist? I'm like, what? But...
It's like, okay.
All right. Yeah. And he was going up to kids. See, that's not cool.
Yeah.
This is cool. Because who does it hurt, really?
It depends how much you give, I guess. Because he had a little bucket set up or something for tips or donations. That's probably what got him arrested.
Yeah.
Because they probably just would have kicked him out for being a weirdo. But since he's getting money, now he's a grifter kind of a thing.
Well, I mean...
This kind of reminds me, like, have you ever been mistaken for working in a store?
Yeah.
Like, you're just in the store and you happen to... And people are like, excuse me, and they're all mad at you because you don't answer. And then they're like, can you tell me where this is? Like, you work there?
Yeah.
I just tell them where stuff is. Like, if I'm all on 3, I'm like, it's on aisle 26, and you got to go all the way down there, and it's third on the bottom. And then I just walk away.
So if they're...
And I've actually had somebody come back to me and go, I looked and it wasn't there. It's like, well, dude, I don't know. I don't work here.
So if they're genuinely...
Because they just don't believe you when you say, I don't work here, dude. I don't work at Lowe's. I just happen to be in the store wearing a blue shirt.
If it's genuinely like a nice old person and I'm like, I'm so confused, I can't find the paper plate.
Well, that's different. When they're
I'll
rude.
help them. But if it's a Karen who just looks at me and assumes I work there, I do the same thing. I'm like, oh, you want pet food? That's on aisle J.
Yeah. Just make stuff up.
Yeah. So,
You probably get in trouble for that somewhere. In the accountability department. Yeah. So, all right. We're almost wrapping up the podcast. This has been a long one.
I still want to talk about that one.
What one?
Dollar General.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that one, but we have a couple more things to talk about before we talk about the dog. Because I want to wrap it up with the Dollar Generals are all haunted. We have a couple things. So, anyway, I wanted to talk about the fake ranger because I thought that was hilarious, and I wanted to kind of throw that in there. Mm-hmm. We do need to touch on the Conjuring house because we have talked about this in the past, and evidently the Conjuring house, there was a dispute in ownership, and you had what's his name?
Jason Hawes.
Jason Hawes with the whole GoFundMe campaign trying to get the Conjuring house. Well, it looks like, according to the records, where you go file. What is that called?
Register
when you go
of
down
Deeds.
there you go, Register of Deeds. Evidently, his name is on it, so it looks like the Conjuring house
is now owned by Jason Hawes or
Yes.
whatever affiliated company, which is good because I'm tired of this dragging out. There have been other instances
and
of
that the dude that is partners with Matt Rife,
yeah,
they, I think, bought the Warrens' house.
yeah,
So that you could take a tour in their haunted basement type stuff.
yeah.
Well, he's somehow or another also involved with this. So I think maybe him and Jason Hawes kind of got together
Yeah.
so that they could get the Conjuring house. Because the Conjuring house, Jason Hawes got involved because his daughter was working there, and the lady that owned it was crazy. Basically, saying that the spirits, were telling her that dude was stealing stuff, and it just became a thing. And she somehow or another drug him into it. And then it turned into a thing where I guess, and the best case of revenge is, I'll show you, I'll just buy your house kind of a thing.
Yeah. But
So-
I'm just glad it's settling down because I was talking to somebody about
Yeah, because I would probably go there now.
Yeah.
If that crazy lady kept owning it, and she had some issues. So I'm just not saying crazy as she was just crazy, but I mean, she had some problems. I don't think I would ever go there.
and that's what I'm saying. It's not just, it deters people, but I was talking to somebody about some sort of weird attraction, right past the Carolina border in Tennessee. And it was it was a movie set, then it was a haunted area, then it was some other stuff.
Yeah.
And they did ghost tours. Well, due to just all the same things as the Conjuring house, it's gone into complete disrepair.
Yeah.
And now you can't go there. And it's been on some paranormal shows. Well, you can't go there because it was constantly being contested. And now I think it's kind of owned by whatever city it's in
Yeah.
now. And I don't want these cool places to fall into disrepair.
I think that actually happens with a lot of weird and paranormal places and just
Yeah.
places that have weird energy in general, is that it attracts the weirdness, it keeps the weirdness, and then eventually sort of destroys whoever's trying to run the weirdness.
Yeah.
Because we see, so the Conjuring house changed hands multiple times before that lady got it. Now it's changed hands again. The Warren house recently changed hands, but that's a little bit different. But then you also had Lizzie Borden's house. That's changed hands a couple different times.
Yeah.
So there's been, and I'm sure there's way more of these paranormal places that keep changing hands for whatever reason. It's like whoever gets it inherits the issues that may or may not come along with owning a weird, paranormal, haunted, whatever sort of piece of property. Like, the curse of Oak Island, right? It allegedly has a curse, and those people have been trying to get all the gold out of there. I don't even know if they have received or got all the gold. That has been nothing but problems. One thing after the other. Blind Frog Ranch has been one thing after the other.
Yeah.
All these places seem to have issues that go along with it. So we really shouldn't be too surprised that this sort of thing occurs, It seems like the places that seem to thrive are the places that don't concentrate on this is the entire reason to come to this place.
True.
You know what I mean? You've
Yeah.
got hotels that are haunted. They don't make it a point where, the hotel's haunted, come on in, guys, that kind of thing. There's another reason for it, and they just seem to let whatever happens. It's not in their brochure. Come to the haunted, pink hotel and whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
That's what it was. It's where a lot of the props from The Fugitive, that town. So right there.
that's here.
Yeah, it's right on the border because it's the Chihuahua Dam and the
yeah,
Chihuahua.
yeah.
So
It's also
right
got the
there.
train and the
Yeah.
bus and all. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember you talking about. Okay.
Yeah, so that's the one. It's
Another place that had the problem was where they filmed a large chunk of the Hunger Games. They had an issue for a minute. That's a whole
Yeah.
town that you can go to. And I think when they put some money in it to bring it back open again, we looked at it and it's like, I don't want to pay
yeah.
$89 to walk around a movie set.
So somebody drove
town
me
that used
through
to
it,
be,
right?
yeah.
You can't even slow down
No.
without getting pulled over.
Yeah, they're like,
There's
give me the money.
no place to park, and there's a giant sign where all the letters are like 4 inches tall, and it says, "If you park, you pay."
Yeah.
Like, you can't even like turn around. Okay, so yeah, but
That's when you're like, you got to catch me first.
yeah,
They just take a picture of your license plate. And call
which
the
they
cops.
do.
Yeah. Like, I'll show you.
Yeah,
You just get arrested later on.
yeah.
Well, there's a ghost town that's used in movie sets and stuff like that in New Mexico. It's
Yeah.
kind of the same way.
Golden.
But no,
no?
there's a bunch of sets that are out there in the desert. Maybe it is
Yeah.
golden. I don't know. We were going to go, but we didn't go because all the shines were just shot to pieces. You're like, let's go. We're like, no. That's a warning where I come from. You know, 1 or 2 bullet holes to somebody popping off. But when the entire sign looks like Swiss cheese, no thank you.
Yeah, until we lived in New Mexico long enough to realize all the signs look like that.
No, they don't. No.
Okay,
I just said.
with the
if you see-
exception of the signs
you see
in your
1 or 2
house that have
shots
the
or whatever,
UFO
you
on
know,
them.
1 or 2 shots, that's nothing. But this thing was like shot a lot.
Okay.
To let you know, don't come here. Dave would know. Dave was with us. So was Dennis. Just remember we rode through that. Anyway, that dried riverbed until we seen, I think it was just a Crown Victoria on the actual road we were supposed to be on, because they were looking at us like, what are they doing down there? They shouldn't be down there. I'm shocked we didn't get stuck. So after the park ranger, I was going to talk about this remote controlled cockroach swarm. You remember that at all?
Yes, but yes, there is a remote control cockroach swarm. The detail you're leaving out is that it can successfully traverse underwater.
Well, no, that's the update.
Oh, okay.
So how dare you? And what happened was there already existed a remote controlled cockroach swarm. So in an effort to make it more usable or enhance it, update it,
Yeah.
tiny 3D printed diving suits allow cockroaches to walk underwater for up to 3 hours with no ill effects, which could enable a cyborg insect to explore disaster zones, possibly even Mars. What do you think about that? So these swarms of cyborg insects controlled remotely via electrical inputs can now operate underwater thanks to these little 3D printed diving suits that supplies them with oxygen. And they're thinking that, you know, maybe one day they could use to be explored, you know, like in Mars, like out in space, right?
Yeah.
So Hirotaka Sato at the Nanyang Technical Institute in Singapore and his colleagues first demonstrated in 2021 that the Madagascar hissing cockroaches, in other words, big giant cockroaches, could be remotely controlled when they took electrodes and bed them in the sensory organs known as the circe. So in 2024, they demonstrated that a swarm of 20 of these cyborg insects could coordinate together. And so evidently the latest update is now they made these super cool little tiny diving suits for them.
Okay.
What you shrug your shoulders for? This is groundbreaking stuff, man.
With roaches, I'm done.
No, not just roaches, Madagascar hissing cockroaches, the big giant ones you see on like Fear Factor and shows like that.
Yeah, I
They're
don't
the ones that hiss.
stop.
They don't hiss like that, but this is funnier when I do it.
That's
like
the
in your
watermelon
ear.
beetles. Watermelon beetles go, hey.
No, they go.
Stop.
They do. You hear them go.
You know, that's probably what scared me in the workshop the other day. I thought somebody was in there with me. Yeah.
That's their defense mechanism. You're like, whoa, get away from me, you creepy bug. An old pervert beetle.
Okay.
So, yeah. All right, so we're going to take a second to wrap up the podcast with something that makes sense if you think about it for more than 2 seconds. Right? You want me to play a clip or not?
Yes.
I will play a part of a clip, and then I will stop it, and then you will bring it home.
Oh, well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Coming forward and saying, yes,
Here we go.
I've had really creepy experiences working at the Dollar General, which also would make sense because a lot of these Dollar General's stores are built in very remote locations, near cornfields, near forest. And there's even this wild theory that almost all Dollar Generals are built on top of cemeteries. But when you start to think about it, if they are building these Dollar Generals in just the most random places, it's very possible they're built on houses that were torn down, old farmhouses, and even possibly cemeteries. Now, people have reported things like stuff falling off the shelf, diapers being thrown across the store. They've heard disembodied voices, people calling their name at night when the store is closed. They go and look on the security cameras and no one is there, but they continuously hear their name being called. There was an employee who, one night, she was working and she happened to see someone walk in out of the corner of her eye. And at the time, she thought it was just a random person that had walked in after closing time. When she goes to look and see who this person is, she doesn't see anybody. So she goes into the office, she looks on the CCTV, and she sees this shadowy figure moving through the aisles. She runs out of the store screaming, and she quit that day. But the scariest story that I've heard of out of a Dollar General, there was this girl who said that weird things would happen from time to time at this Dollar General she worked at. And she said a couple weeks before this incident happened, she went in to open at like 6 a.m. And she said there was a receipt in one of the cash registers that was time-stamped 3:01 a.m. And she realized all of the systems had been reset at exactly 3:01 a.m. So
Okay. So I'm not too worried about the 3:01 a.m. thing because a lot of Dollar Generals and a lot of places will do network resets depending on where they're initiated from.
Yep.
So 12:01 a.m. would be, because like, for example, a long time ago when I did Walmart and installing cash registers and getting them on the network and stuff like that, around midnight, all the machines would shut down for 5 minutes. They would all update the price SKUs and do all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, if it's being initiated from California, what happened when this California is 3 hours different if you're on the East Coast, of course,
Yeah.
so it'd go at 3:01. Now, I think that a lot of Dollar Generals may be haunted because they are typically located in places of despair.
True.
I mean, I'm not saying that to be mean
And
or anything, but it's kind of like,
on top of that, Dollar General locations are not necessarily picked by the original conspiracy theory of, economically displaced or, economically disadvantaged, but economically disadvantaged plus cheap property.
oh yeah, absolutely.
So, like, a good example would be the one near us. There's some history associated with that one. Apparently, the house that was there burnt down, and prior to it burning down, there was a lot of unfortunate crime associated with that particular house.
Yes, and also depending on where you are, your Dollar General may or may not be a place for meth-enabled people,
Yes.
mathematicians. show up.
Now, the stuff flying off the shelves, I've actually had people say that there's a very specific Dollar General in our county that has very strange things happen. But I've seen stuff fly off the shelves at the Dollar General, the new one in Old Fort, North Carolina.
Well, don't be telling people our secrets.
But it wasn't ghosts.
It's funny because if you look at the comments, because this actually came from TikTok, this is from True Crime Talk 03. So either he couldn't get the name or he's been banned multiple times. The first comment I came across is also, which means that they had written some stuff before. When I'm working, stuff will fly off the shelves, but not even fall, like fly. So one day, me and my manager, Cindy, were talking, and I was on one end of the aisle, and she was on the complete other end of the aisle, and we were talking, and something flew off right in front of us, right? Like, and so smacked it. In other words, it went out and flew. And so she says it was weird, and then but for the people hearing things, that's probably just psychosis starting. There's a bell people ring when they're ready, and I always think someone's ringing it, even though no one's here. So I'm used to someone being up there when they're ready to check out. Well, that seems kind of specific to their store. I don't think that Dollar General plays weird music to get you out of the store. I mean, maybe
Ours
they
doesn't
do.
play any.
No,
Yeah.
that you can hear, is you could just use frequencies to do that. I do think that they jam phones.
They do, yeah.
So, and you can't even
But-
hardly get on their little network to compare prices or whatever. Because even if you go use the Dollar General app for whatever reason, it says, "Hey, load all your coupons and stuff before you go."
Yeah.
Which is kind of like, that seems sort of.
But what I was going to say about the one in Old Fort was the stuff that was flying off the shelves,
I need to talk.
not just knocking
All Dollar
over.
Generals?
Yeah.
It was a squirrel in between the shelves.
You could buy a squirrel at Dollar General?
No.
Oh.
A squirrel was throwing stuff off the shelves.
Probably because he wanted, better discounts and
He
bargains.
probably did, But I have seen stuff fall off shelves at Dollar General.
Dollar General always has,
A creepy.
yeah.
Vibe.
I've never been in one where it's felt anything but kind of weird.
Well, when we lived in New Mexico,
Well, the new one,
that one even felt creepy, and I
Yeah.
found out why. There used to be an old retirement home right there.
see? All the people walking around looking for deals and bargains.
It was like a little retirement clinic right there. Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, to me, Dollar General is kind of like Waffle House.
Yeah.
They even have the same colors. Maybe they're related somehow. So, if you want Waffle House, if you want food
Yeah.
and possibly a show, depending on what time you're there, what time of the night or whatever.
Yeah.
Dollar General is, hey, Dollar General, you go to get stuff because you don't want to drive to the grocery store or Walmart or wherever where you do your normal shopping. Mm-hmm. You just go to Dollar General. Like, oh, let me stop and get a soda or whatever.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. But, the whole yellow and black thing, Waffle House, Dollar General, same thing. Maybe they're related somehow. You don't have to look it up because they're actually owned by Dollar Tree International now, who owns Family Dollar, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, that sort of thing.
I was looking up companies. So you said Waffle House, Dollar General. I was trying to see what other companies have the same colors and if those give me a weird vibe.
Yeah.
Stanley, black and yellow. Bic, pen. Post-it.
Big Pen's black and yellow?
Yeah. Black and yellow. Who is that? What is that? Ferrari.
All right. Well,
Nikon.
all right. Now you're just,
National Geographic.
I think you're just reaching now.
Okay.
Because, Ferrari. Come on.
I was just trying to think of, do any of those other companies creep me
Well,
out?
I don't know if it's necessarily so much the colors as is the environment.
Yeah.
Probably has something to do with the caliber of whatever.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Well, at this point, I think we have talked long enough. This is 1 hour and 42 minutes so far of CreepGeeks Podcast.
It's like making up, instead of a snow day, since we were sick, this is just a longer podcast.
Yes, this has been season 10, episode 364, with the old Diarrhea Superbug, deadly fungus storms, Dollar Generals were haunted, Conjuring house, and remote-controlled cockroach swarms. So sort of a hodgepodge of things, and we've already been writing the next podcast episode that has even more strange things. See, here's what happens, guys. You get a rut of things that are interesting to talk about. It just happens. After the holidays and the spring, things are kind of boring for a while. And then as the summer, it warms up, you start to get more, Bigfoot sightings and things like that and weird, strange stories. And then this rocks all the way into November where it'll die off again. So, and then people are like, well, I've never noticed that. It's like you haven't tried to find interesting things to talk about on a paranormal weird news podcast.
For almost a decade.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It hasn't been that long, has it?
2015.
2015?
I think so.
Get out of here. Oh, we called it something different.
Yeah.
We've had a couple different iterations of names that we thought were clever. Turned out to not be clever, like Turquoise and Beef Jerky Roadshow.
Yeah.
So, and then we changed it to Cheap Geek Podcast, which was made sense in a minute because we didn't want to spend all that money to move things into a better place. And we're like, one day, I know, CreepGeeks Podcast. That makes more sense. So, yeah, it kind of is what it is. Speaking of is what it is amazing that you guys listen to the podcast. We do appreciate it. And we do look forward to, you coming back and listening to some more. Yeah, what do you think about that?
Yep.
And if you want to interact with us, there's a couple different ways you can do it. We have a toll-free telephone number that you can call or leave a message or even send us something.
That phone number is 575-208-4025.
And we have CreepGeeks.com you can go check out. We also are available on every social media presence you'd want to check out. And it's real easy. If you just look for Creep Geeks, you can find it.
Yep. Also, we have a Facebook group that is fairly active. I'd like to see some more members. We have a poll going on in there. What type of content you'd like to see more of from Creep Geeks? Go check your option now on that poll.
And if you want some top quality homemade dog treats that are good, go to BARLEY'SBites.com, and we do have a link in the show notes for that. Or you can just go to Barley's Bites, and they're on Facebook as well. And they do ship and deliver all over the place. So there you go. And if you're in New Mexico, you can go get it from them personally. Lots of events, so definitely check it out. So anyway, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let us know. But see you later. Take it easy. Bye, Sickle.
Bye.